A modern elder is as much an intern as they are a mentor, because they realize in a world that is changing as quickly as it is, you have to actually be as curious learning things as you are the wise person dispensing wisdom. I decided to write my most recent book, Wisdom at Work: The Making of a Modern Elder, based upon my experience at Airbnb. I was brought in by the three millennial co-founders to help take their fast-growing tech startup and turn it into a hospitality brand globally. And I realized quickly that I thought I was supposed to be the mentor. In fact, I was brought in to be the in-house mentor for Brian Chesky, the CEO. But I was as much the intern as I was the mentor, which led me to thinking, gosh, maybe people in midlife can actually be as curious as they are wise. I had the ability to mentor on subjects like leadership and emotional intelligence, and certainly the travel and hospitality business, since I was a longtime veteran of hotels. But I didn't know a thing about technology. I was being taught things while I was teaching things. What we see is these young founders starting companies, growing into global giants by the time of their 30th or maybe even 35th birthday. We sort of expect these young digital leaders to miraculously embody the relationship wisdoms we older workers have had decades to learn. The idea of age-diverse teams should be just as important as gender or ethnic diverse teams. And there's a lot of evidence that shows that age-diverse teams actually do better, partly because of that diversity. Fact is, most companies have a relatively broad set of people as customers, Airbnb included. When I joined 5.5 years ago, it was a millennial-focused company, but relatively soon we became mainstream. So having me even at the decision-making table about how we made decisions for our older hosts or our older guests was pretty important, because frankly, if the average age of the company is 26 or 27 or 28, and your average age of your host is 42, 43, 44, there can be a bit of a divide there. And our fastest growing demographic in Airbnb, age-wise, is hosts 50 and older. When I started my boutique hotel company at age 26, I had the impression I would probably do it till I was age 80. It was a calling, but what was strange is over time, what I loved about it on the front end was the creativity and the freedom. Over time, the creativity and freedom, as it became a bigger company, was not as present. And, Robert De Niro in the movie The Intern has a great quote, and he said, musicians don't retire, they quit when there's no more music left inside of them. And so I knew I had music left inside of me. I wasn't ready to retire, but I was definitely ready to have a new habitat and a new venue. And that's one of the hardest things in midlife, is to say what you're comfortable with, let's move on from it. But I think the key thing for someone in midlife is to realize that the moment you think you know it all is the moment that you've stopped learning. And to the idea that we are going to have to reinvent ourselves and be lifelong learners is the future. Let me just say that. The future is not banking on the past or resting on your laurels. A recruiter, one of the most famous recruiters in the world today, said to me, when someone is curious and engaged, I lose track of their age. And so for those of us who are worried about putting our alma mater and the year of when we graduated from college on our LinkedIn profile, well, let's recognize they're going to figure that out. But if you have this kind of curiosity, this sense of being engaged in life, and you have a real presence, which means you're giving attention to whomever you're talking to, that is all ageless.